Welcome back, comic fans. The anticipation was high as we were set to delve back into the world of the MCU with Antman and the Wasp: Quantumania. The third installment of the franchise promised to bring even more quantum-powered action and adventure to the big screen. In this video, I'm not only going to give you my review of the movie, but also I'm going to highlight a couple of comic books that you might want to add to your list after having seen the movie. So grab some popcorn, settle in, and get ready to explore the quantum realm like never before. So let's get into it. Mrs. Como and I caught a 6:10 preview night showing of Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania on Thursday night. The movie clocked in at 2 hours and 5 minutes, which makes it the longest Ant-Man movie to date. After a quick flashback sequence and a brief visit with the 616, mostly for exposition purposes, we quickly find ourselves in the quantum realm for most of the duration of the film. Without getting into the details, that's where spoilers live, let me share you a couple of the things I thought that worked for me and a couple of things that didn't. Let's start with the good stuff. First up, Jonathan Majors. Kang, the Conqueror, the Exiled, whatever you want to call him, he stole the show. I wouldn't be surprised to find him spray painting Kang over the top of Ant-Man and the Wasp on every copy of this movie poster that he comes across, because this was the Kang show. Kang was ruthless, menacing, unrelenting, and Majors' performance was spot on. The best news of the day is that there's a multiverse full of Kangs for this guy to play, and I'm going to be there for all of it. The next thing that worked for me was the quantum realm itself. It was like a George Lucas-inspired fever dream, filled with oversaturated colors, bizarre landscapes, and more weird-ass creatures than you could ever fit inside of a single cantina. The landscape designs were interesting and varied, which kind of helped support the vastness of the quantum realm, but really more than anything else, it was just kind of weird. The third thing that I thought worked well was the movie itself. Unfortunately, it has this unceremonious task of kicking off Phase 5, coming out of what most considered to be a lackluster Phase 4. So whereas most of our major solo characters' third films have been used to bring the characters full circle, Ant-Man's swan song really is served up for a higher purpose. While that sucks for the character, we, the MCU viewer, now know who Kang is, what he wants, and we've seen what he's capable of, but there's just one problem. What the hell is the multiverse? We're now many movies and projects into this multiverse saga, and we still haven't really had any of it explained to us. So the multiverse is entry number one for what didn't really work for me. If you think back to the Infinity Saga, we were slowly introduced to the Infinity Stones and the big picture developed over a series of movies. That may be because they didn't really know where they were going when they first got going, but we'll let that go. With the Multiverse Saga, we're instantly thrown into this multiversal conflict as we've seen in Loki, No Way Home, Multiverse of Madness, and now Quantumania, but I can't help but feel the need to just kind of stop, look around, and scream, what is going on? How does any of this work? And when are we going to have that moment where somebody takes a dip into some sort of shady looking vision pool and then clues all of us in about this whole thing? Not knowing about the multiverse yet, that's strike one. The next thing that didn't work for me was Modoc. Well, I mean, Modoc kind of half worked for me, I'll put it that way. When the mask is on and he's doing his thing, trying to kill people, I liked it. But once the mask comes off and it's Corey Stoll's face, it just kind of fell flat for me because I felt like the writers didn't take the character seriously. I get it, he's a giant floating head and it's kind of weird, but still, instead of being maniacal, angry, and strictly homicidal, they write him like he's an idiot. Honestly, he was more menacing standing in the room of a 6-year-old girl at the end of the first Ant-Man film than he is here as the mechanized organism designed only for killing. People in my showing were openly laughing at the character. Not at the jokes, but at the character. I really wanted Modoc to be good, but let's just throw him on the heap of Marvel characters that the MCU has taken a dump on. Strike two. The last thing that didn't work, you could build this entire movie from clips of Star Wars. Bringing this review full circle back around to my George Lucas fever dream comment, if you've seen all 9 episodes of Star Wars, then you've seen every single scene of this movie before. We went from, oh, hey, we're in the cantina on Tatooine, to, hey, Look at our new clone army in formation and ready to deploy on Coruscant, to the final battle scene where the cavalry arrived on Exegol in episode 9. So either Disney is mailing in plot points at this point, or somewhere in the multiverse there's a version of Star Wars starring Antman and the Wasp. And honestly, I'm not sure which option is worse at this point. So that was strike 3. Before we take a look at a couple of books, I want to take a second to remind everybody about the approaching 10,000 subscriber giveaway. As of the recording of this video, we've crossed 9,750 subs, so we're in the home stretch. We've got some great prizes lined up, and there will be 5 winners, so be sure to subscribe to the channel and keep an eye out for the 10K giveaway video that will come out once we hit 10K. Quick spoiler alert, the books I'm going to mention below are tied to specific details of the movie or post-credit scenes. So let's consider this your spoiler warning. If you haven't seen the movie yet, you've been warned. The post-credit scene was a peek into the upcoming season of Loki and showed Loki and Mobius back in time watching a presentation from a turn of the 20th century Kang variant who is presumably Victor Timely. That character first appeared in 1992's Avengers Annual number 21. This post-credit scene has rocketed that book out of discount box hell, and copies are currently selling in the $20 range as FOMO has picked up for this Kang variant that had previously been flying under the radar. So as you head out to your LCS this weekend, keep an eye out for this one for your Kang variant bingo card. The next book I want to talk about is one that took off in the early days when Kang had just been announced for the MCU, Avengers 267. This issue was published in May 1986 and features the first appearance of the Council of Kangs. We knew it was coming, but the mid-credits scene delivered the Council in all their glory. Focusing primarily on 3 notable Kangs, we see Ramatut, Immortus, and who I'm assuming is supposed to be the MCU version of the Scarlet Centurion on screen for the very first time as they plot their next move and move to address the full Council of Kangs which they've summoned. Following the Phase 5 and 6 announcements and the reveal that Kang would be the next saga's main villain, this book shot up to the $60 to $75 price range for high-grade raw copies, but had cooled off a bit in the interim. But now it's currently selling right around $35. And honestly, with this scene, I could see FOMO pushing it back up in the range of $50 again at some point. But I want to encourage you to be patient with it. The print runs for Avengers issues from this period are massive, and there are tons and tons of copies available, which means with a little luck, you can likely find this one at a good price in time. Collect responsibly, and I'll see you in the next video.